Christian, JP and I, we were here waiting for you. You were a couple minutes late, so
Oh,
you might
sue
get
me.
you might get scratched for this episode. I don't know. I'm not sure.
You're gonna kick me out of the meeting? Do it. I
No,
dare you.
we'll do what Dan Bilesma did back in 2017 and dress you, keep you on the call as JP and I continue through our normal episode.
Just put him on mute the whole episode.
Just cut all my audio out. We got Jonah a nice soundboard like a year ago. Do you use it? I'm
What am
curious.
I supposed to use it for?
I don't know, like boom sound effects and
I
Big
I,
could I,
booms.
I could bring back the soundboard. We can do that.
I get some like if there's some bad news, you could put like the Vine boom sound effect,
Yeah.
bass boosted.
Jacob Bryson's re-signed for a year. Boom.
Can you make your own sound effects on that thing?
I probably could, yeah.
Hey man, it could be big.
Could be. Could be innovative. It was funny. I was telling JP when we were watching the game the other day how they just kind of bore me at this point, which I don't think is a crazy take.
Hmm.
So I've just been preparing for a big summer project. Let's just say it has to do with an iceberg for the drought.
He,
Well,
he gave it away.
yeah,
It's
okay.
just that's just saying.
Just, I mean, there's different ways to do it, but anyways, I'm doing research for this drought iceberg, and just going through some of the entries is so funny when I do finally complete the whole thing this summer. But that one made me laugh, especially given the recent event with Jack Quinn. How do you remember when Sam Reinhart was healthy scratched for missing that team meeting back in 2017?
I don't. I really
It
don't.
was late in the season. I think it was actually this week that year. And I just remember it being like what just happened with Jack Quinn, how he missed the team meeting and just got scratched. That's not what happened. He was 5 minutes late to a team stretch. He thought that it was at 11 a.m. It was at 10:30, and he was like 5 minutes late. I think he was actually already going to be early, and he
Yeah, he
ended
thought
up
he was gonna be 25 minutes early.
he
He
ended
ended up
up
being
being
5 minutes
well.
late.
I guess Jake McCabe called him and said he was late, so he like rushed over. But yeah, he was 5 minutes late, and they were going to healthy scratch him. But Kyle Okposo, I think this is when the concussion stuff happened. That was like the first game he missed. They only had 13 forwards on the roster. So Sam Reinhart had to dress and sit next to Dan Bilesma the entire game.
I
Like
com
just
That's crazy.
stuff like that, man. That is what this drought is just so full of. Just it could be easy. It could have just been, hey, he missed a team meeting. He sits. But nope, he's 5 minutes late to a team stretch. He was already on his way to be early for. And he doesn't even get to be scratched. He has to dress and not even get a shift.
That's kind of embarrassing. Now I understand why he wanted to leave.
Can you wonder why maybe the room hated Bilesma a little bit towards the end there?
Ugh.
Because also apparently Eichel had missed. He had actually missed a meeting at some point during the year, and so like Bilesma sat him for like a power play shift the one time.
Just one power play shift because the star player gets benched, everyone's gonna take notice of it. It's like, why is he sitting him? Like you lose your job immediately after that.
Yeah, and I don't want to like steal thunder from the expected Buffalo bracket that's going on with drought moments because that's fantastic as well. And that had some that I had forgotten or actually never even heard of that I will be adding to the iceberg. Um, but I it's like some like even some of the ones that Chad put together like that I have on my list. Like it's so crazy, man. Like this drought is truly just insane. The amount of little moments, it could be big moments, little ones. It's just truly nothing like it will ever happen again.
Whose idea was it to compile a 14-year list of pain and put it into an iceberg?
think we all started it like
I think
2 years ago.
that was me. No, that was me. I just said we should make one.
Well, I think we were
And then
all
it
just
became like a
naming
running joke.
random. I think we were naming random stuff
I
in our
think I
group
have the
chat,
tweet. I think
and then
I literally just said it was like sometime this last August. I'm like, we need to start a drought iceberg, and then people started submitting stuff in that tweet, and then it just kept going. People were like, oh, iceberg moment. Oh, oh. So I've just been slowly putting them all together.
yeah. And I think the best part is we know it's not done too. There's gonna be more
No,
stuff.
no. I
No,
mean, hopefully it cuts off after this year.
this is open ended.
Yeah.
No, there's gonna be some fun moments in the off season, I bet.
The drought is never ending. No end in sight this year. That's for damn sure. Anyways, welcome back to another episode of the Sabre Roundtable. My name is Jonah,
I'm Christian.
Now I'm JP.
and as always, we will be talking to you about all things Buffalo Sabres hockey and even a little bit of the wider NHL. Since the last time we recorded, the Sabres have played 3 games on a little mini western road trip. They went 1-2 on that road trip, and a few storylines to take away from those 3 games, on top of some team news, small team news, but it could signal some stuff heading into next season. And then finally, the probably game of the season, the last game that really probably means anything, tomorrow night. Dylan Cousins and the Ottawa Senators are in town.
Will you be in attendance, Christian?
No, I don't have tickets to that game. Is that good or is that bad for you,
No.
JP?
I'm just saying. I know Joan and I will be there.
Oh, you guys have tickets for that game?
Yeah, I will be wearing my cousin's jersey. Probably might be for the last time. I might just get the number changed. Or
Does
the
he get
name might
booed?
change.
He's gonna burn it.
Yeah,
You
I'm
think
gonna
he gets,
burn it.
do you think he gets booed?
I
don't
really
know.
hope not, but I wouldn't be surprised.
They do it like other than Eichel because now it's just a running joke. Don't they do it to every single player that comes back the first time, just like a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, Jack Eichel didn't. His return didn't invent booing former
No,
players.
even before that, like they did it to Brian Campbell.
Like Brian Campbell was like cried at his goodbye press conference and said please don't boo me, and they booed him in the first time he came back. So I don't think anything's off the table.
Will Dennis Gilbert get a tribute video?
Oh,
He
God.
should. He should.
I swear. Oh my God.
Gibby.
Because that's what they'll do. Who did they do? Somebody who returned recently. Like everybody was focused on them, but there was like a previous former Sabre alongside them, and they like did their video tributes together, even though one player deserved it a lot more.
Was it this season?
No, it was either last year or the year before.
Hmm. Last year, who did we trade or who left? Man, it already seems so long ago. I completely forgot.
Yeah, I don't know. I forget who it was. Maybe I'm thinking
I'm
of like when Reinhardt came back, him and Montour came back, and then maybe they did video stuff for them, and then who else was on that team? I don't even
Asplund.
know.
Wasn't Asplund on that team?
I don't.
Yes, man.
I don't know if he's really gotten in the NHL games with them.
Oh, right. Yeah, he went to Nashville, then he went to Florida.
This is
Right?
stumping me. Yeah, no, you're spot on there. Trying to
Maybe you're
think.
just making this up.
I think you got to add, bringing up the ass man. Think of how happy Kevin Adams was when he traded him for like a 7th round pick. Do you remember the embedded about that trade and how happy he was that he got a 7th round pick for him? Am I the only one who remembers this? I'll go back and get the clip. He was like pumped.
He's like, get this bum ass off my roster. I'll take anything.
You might be confusing that with them getting a 4th round pick for Eric Johnson.
No, I'm
They were
telling you.
psyched about that one.
Well, they should have been psyched about that one.
It could have been a 4th round pick in 2035 or something.
No, and they were like, no retention either. Oh my God. Anyways, Dylan Cousins will be back tomorrow night, and it should be interesting with the fan reception. I doubt he gets booed. I think it'll be at most mixed.
You should boo him.
You know what? I will. He's not. Why should I cheer for him? What did he do for me?
What do you mean?
Yeah, what did he do for you, JP?
There is a lot of
Did
moments.
he call you? Did he talk to you personally?
No, but he wrote a member of my family a letter, so I'll give him that.
Did he? Handwritten?
Hmm.
Very nice.
He did.
Okay. Well, Dylan Cousins writes letters. That's the most he's done in the past 2 years in Buffalo.
It was like 2 years after it was submitted too.
He got there eventually.
He
That
did.
reminds me of the time I was in. It was senior year of high school, and I think I wrote a letter to see if Ralph Kruger wanted to come speak in my class.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine if he said yes? That would have been an all
That would
time.
have been all-time moment. Imagine him coming to your class and just feeding you a hot plate of bullshit.
He gives everybody the thumbs up that he would do.
At the end of the Zoom calls, you give everyone the thumbs up and go lose 3 straight games.
Anyways, on that note, before we get into, I guess more of the cousin stuff, but this road trip, not counting the Boston game that we talked about last time, the Sabres did go 1-2 on this West Coast trip. They would lose to the Utah Hockey Club 5-2. They would lose 4-1 to the Minnesota Wild, but they would end the trip on a high note with a 5-2 win against the Winnipeg Jets.
5-3.
5-3? Was it 5-3?
Hmm.
5-3. Let's start with the Utah game. A game that will only be remembered for one single moment. And honest to God, probably an all-time Drought Iceberg moment. The Buffalo Sabres. In a game that was hard fought, they didn't deserve to win it. You could feel Utah was going to pull away with that one. But the Sabres had a chance to tie the game. They were down 3-2 and even drew a penalty on the Utah Hockey Club. It was a 6-on-5. If they would have given Utah the puck, it would have been a 6-on-4 the next shift. Tage Thompson does not realize right away that the penalty had been drawn, and so he goes to make a pass to Rasmus Dahlin. Skies the pass over Dahlin's stick. The puck goes down the ice. Takes a perfect hop off the boards. And would you believe it? It finds its way into the empty net. The Buffalo Sabres scored on themselves, sealing the game 4-2. I mean, just what a moment! Honestly, it's hard to really watch in real time an all-time Drought moment happen before your eyes. That's something that has never happened to the franchise. You only see that happen every so often in the NHL, and you've never seen it happen to the Sabres. And my God, just the agony in Rob Ray's voice as he watched that puck go into the net after he's screaming from the top of the rafters to give them the puck.
I think I just started laughing,
Evil
genuinely.
stuff.
That's their comeuppance from using all of their luck in the Vegas game. We got our big win in the Vegas game. He had it coming, man. It always has to even out with us. You can never have a good moment without it getting too low, you know?
I think the most insane part is the guy who got a penalty and had the penalty delayed against him was credited with the goal, I'm pretty sure, which is
That
just
is true. That
ridiculous.
was like, because immediately I'm like, ah, oh, damn it, like that's hilarious. But you've seen that happen before. You've never seen that happen before. Guy gets a penalty on the same shift he scores the goal.
Yeah, how often do you think that's ever happened?
I don't think it's ever. There's no way it's ever happened. You're not allowed to score a goal if you get a penalty. It's not
You know,
allowed. It's not in the rule book.
the guys running the stats over at NHL were just like,
How the
I
hell do
don't
we?
know,
How the
man.
hell do we put this in the book?
It's like, what do we do? Who do we give this to? Do we give it to the goalie? Could have. It probably would have made more sense than what they did. But either way, it's this season summed up perfectly.
I think we're far enough along. What are like What are the 5 worst moments of that season? I genuinely I don't know if that's top 3.
Well, I think we all know. Could we agree on what number one is?
I don't
Me
know.
and
What is
JP
number
were
one?
me and JP were in attendance for this
Was it that
game.
collapse or was it the other Colorado collapse? Which one
No,
was it?
it was the home collapse. It was 100% the home collapse.
Both
I
were pretty
think
bad.
both were bad. Both of them could make cases for top three, but what's another one? What's another one that's ahead of that? Ahead of the
I
own
think
goal.
I think the Montreal blowout. I mean, come
Mm.
on. Come on. Your owner goes to your locker room to hype you up and you proceed to get walloped
That one's probably
by
objectively the worst.
Dude,
that one's
that
gotten
could be
like
the worst.
that one's aged better for Terry Pegula because Montreal, geez, they might make the playoffs now. At the time, they were last place in the division, which just made that even funnier.
Man, it feels like so long ago. That all happened when I was in Florida. I thought the team was gonna move. I literally thought the team was gonna move.
You're gonna come home and the team's not gonna be here.
I thought they were gonna be tearing down KeyBank
He's
Center.
gonna show up for his next game on his season ticket list. Like, what? They
I was
reschedule?
just like,
Where'd
I was
everybody
just like,
go?
this is literally the lowest point in ownership history. Like, I would have rather taken Gary Bettman running the team
So
or our owner
far.
be a convicted criminal.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Christian, this is the only worst moment so far.
That's right.
The worst moment of your life so far.
There's the Palm Trees press conference.
Oh my God.
That one's just funny. That one's
It's funny but awful.
It's pretty awful.
right. Yeah, dude, it has, and I know
Alex
there's been a lot.
Nedeljkovic scoring a goal and an assist in
Oh
the same
yeah,
game.
I forgot about
That one's
that.
gonna get lost to time.
Dude, has the and I know we've had bad seasons. Has there ever been this many bad moments in a season for us? Like this is crazy.
I don't know.
I can't think of any
I've
season that
already
tops that.
I've already put a lot of these memories in like the back part of my memory and brain. Like I'm just remembering these for the first time in a while, to
These
be
happened in the
honest.
last
You're
calendar
bringing
year.
back flashbacks.
Like
Yeah.
this might go down as like the funniest season of all time in the franchise. For the wrong
I don't know.
reasons.
This is miserable. I feel like the
This
COVID
is
season was
miserable.
infinitely funnier.
What was the
I mean, what else? What else beats? What? Okay, hold
We're
on.
not even bringing up the Darlene trade rumors.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, that doesn't even crack top 10.
That's not. Yeah, that's not even top. That's like par for the course. How about like, remember when Darlene fought Peyton Krebs in training camp?
Oh yeah.
That was pretty sweet though. Krebs
Remember
lit him up in practice.
when Lindy made the team do push-ups?
That's up there.
What were
Just
some
evil
funny
stuff,
moments
man.
what were some funny moments of the COVID season?
Okay, how about this? First of all, let's set the scene. 17 straight losses.
Right?
Pretty
Love
funny.
it.
Pretty
Love
funny. 18th game of the streak. You're up 3-0.
Oh,
You have a 3-0
right
lead.
against the Flyers.
You have a 3-0 lead against the Philadelphia Flyers. This game is over. You haven't won. Flyers are creeping back. It's 3-2. But guess what? Tage Thompson has a free look at center ice to hit the empty net. He shoots. It's going. It's going. Oh, it pulls left and it hits the post. Hits the post. Flyers get the icing call. Next draw. Flyers tie the game. And then they win it 20 seconds into overtime.
No, that
Nothing
season had
beats
to
that.
be lower, dude. That season had to be lower than this. That
I
was
really don't
so
think
bad.
so.
I think that's-
Expectations weren't as high though.
What
Dude.
if they signed a former Hart Trophy winner?
Well,
Their owner thought they were going to win the Stanley Cup.
well, well, that says more about the owner than anything.
Dude, I've watched this team my whole life, and like, yes, we joke about, well, you know, like, oh, I walk out of a game early sometimes, or I, you know, shut a game off. I think that point in the COVID season, that was the only time in my entire life I hadn't watched games. I would just get the update on my phone. Oh, another loss, another loss, another loss, another loss.
JP, I don't think you lived through the 5-2, 5-2, 5-2 losses against the three 5-2 losses
Back
in a
to back
row
to back.
against the New York Islanders. Prime, because Barry Trotz was, I think, was still head coach. Prime Barry Trotz, dead hockey. How about Rasmus Ristolainen getting walked by Matt Barzal, and then Barzal scoring the goal of the year, going through the legs on Carter Hutton, who was still on the team at that point. He was still playing games.
They
Man, it's half
ruined.
Nothing is
blind.
worse than that season. Nothing.
Yeah, that's true. That's probably the lowest. They ruined those reverse retro jerseys. They just lost all the aura out of those jerseys that year.
How about Taylor Hall tripping on a random breakaway?
Taylor Fall, you mean?
Taylor Fall.
That's where the nickname comes?
Didn't he score in the first game, then didn't score for like a month or two after?
Yeah, he
And then had
scored.
another goal.
He scored, I think, his second or third last game as a Sabre. That was it. That was it.
No one saw him play. Like if a fall falls on the ice and no one's around to watch it, did he actually play?
Here's an entry.
Eric Stahl.
Do you remember when stuff finally started opening back up in the world and the Sabres opened 2,000 seats in KeyBank Center? They couldn't even sell those out. 2,000. They couldn't get 2,000 people to go to a game.
Nobody was risking COVID to go watch that train wreck.
Or here's an all-time funny moment. Do you remember during COVID when there was all like the cardboard cutout fans?
Yeah.
What? I gotta find it. I know. I
Oh,
have
the
it
guy who
saved.
commented.
Yeah. I gotta find it. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta find it.
I'm not gonna. JP, do you remember this?
The Facebook post about the
The
cardboard
Facebook post.
cutout. All right,
If
I
you
got
don't,
it. I
I'm
got
not
it.
going to spoil it for
I got
you.
it.
I'll let Jonah read it verbatim.
This is after a 3-0 loss to the New York Islanders at home. This guy goes, I bought a cardboard cutout to honor my aunt who passed away. Can I come pick it up so she doesn't have to watch this anymore? You can't beat that. Nothing will beat that season.
Dude, this fan base is so funny. Even though we suck, it just makes everything so much funnier.
Do you remember the tweet of it was a picture of Sabretooth just like chilling
On the
in, like,
couch.
in the couch on the concourse. He's the only like human being in the in the arena.
The cardboard cutouts. That was peak
Oh
COVID.
my god.
I'm surprised they didn't. They're lucky they didn't. Do you remember when the NBA had the bubble and they did the fan video wall?
Yeah.
God help us.
Could you imagine
God
if
help
they had
us
Sabres
if
fans
they had
zoomed
that.
in? Oh my god. Oh
The amount
my
of
God.
activities going on.
Oh my
There-
god.
There would have been lawsuits.
Uh,
That's what's to come in the off season with this video Jonah's putting
I was
together.
gonna say, hey man, don't spoil. I didn't say it was gonna be. It's gonna be a video.
You already said iceberg
I didn't
into
say
the
that-
project you're working on.
Oh yeah. Oh,
What
well.
else could it be?
Oh well. Details to come. On that note, where were? Oh right, the Utah, the empty netter didn't even end there. That wasn't even the only funny empty net of the night. 30 seconds later, Utah gets another one. They shoot it. Goes off of Rasmus Dahlin's glove. Straight into the back of the net.
That was like the third goal that either went off of Dahlin or went over Dahlin's stick into the net. That's just
Peter.
a tough night.
He had a rough night. He had a really, like one of the rare, like Rasmus Dahlin was bad games.
Well, happens every so often, especially when you're on a team that's going nowhere with no expectation. Again,
Yep. On to the Minnesota game. Not a lot happening in this one either. Sabres were, this one just kind of got outworked and beaten by a better Minnesota team. JJ Peterka would return in this. Well, actually, JJ Peterka did return in the Utah game. He scored in that one. Also scored in the only goal in this Minnesota game. But other than that, only storyline to talk about. Sabres went 11-7 in this game. Brett Murray was scratched, but more importantly, Jack Quinn was healthy scratched for missing a team meeting.
man, when it rains, it pours for that guy. So much expectation coming into the season,
What
and
could you
just
possibly be doing in Minnesota the day before an afternoon game?
they got a pretty bustling nightlife, wouldn't
I
you
mean, it was
say?
even earlier then. Puck drop was at 2 o'clock. What? It was at 2 o'clock Eastern time, right?
Yeah, he's
Right.
hungover.
Oh yeah, dude, he was out probably getting lit.
This dude's not helping his case at all
It's a
for next year.
contract year. He's in a contract. He's gonna be lucky to get a qualifying offer.
Hmm.
He'll get a Q. He'll get a QO, but it's gonna be like at the what's his qualifying offer? What, like $1 million?
I don't think it's that.
Like
I don't know.
900K? That's all he's gonna get. Like Paterka's gonna get the bag. That's of all the things that are like we talk analytics all the time. JJ Paterka might be on a shooting bender. We don't know. Like he has ups and downs, but apparently rumor has it he's Terry's new boy after Girgensons left, and now he scores in all three games that Terry goes to. He's getting a contract. He's getting $8 million. It's happening. I'm just
It's
warning you
either
now
them
when
or
you see it.
it's from another team because apparently there's offer sheet worries. Offer sheet worries for a team with $20+ million in cap space. How how is that even a possibility? How could you possibly be scared? How could you be scared of an offer sheet?
Economic, efficient, effective. The slogan of a lifetime.
I'll put it out there. I don't know if he's worth 8 million. So
I don't think he's worth eight
Which
million either, but
which
I think he's
goes
probably
into the
going to get close.
conversation we had over the summer. Why would you not extend him early? This guy
mhm.
he would be locked up. It wouldn't be that much of a discount, but he'd be locked up for like 7.14, something like the I'm thinking
Like
of
the
the
Tage
Dylan.
deal.
Well, it's the Tage money, but it's what Dylan Gunther signed.
Mm.
I think that's what Matty Beniers signed. This wouldn't even be a conversation. He'd be locked up for 7+ million. Um, I think everybody would agree that's pretty fair, especially seeing what we're seeing now. But now you have this. You have the guy's been thrown around in trade rumors. Apparently, the team is somewhat nervous. He'll get offer sheeted, and he's the owner's favorite. How could he be the owner's favorite player? But they refuse to. They didn't even talk to him about an extension last summer
Yeah, that's where all the bad feelings are coming from.
after not spending money because you wanted to extend the future players.
It all makes so much sense that there's just an internal cap sitting around, dude. But yeah, that's really it's really frustrating. Like they should listen to this podcast. They should
You
get some good advice from us.
they walked them.
Jonah would have extended Jack Quinn. So
Oh yeah, he would have.
I still would. I still like stand by because even what like what's he signing for back then? I said it was like $4 or $5 million.
That's way too much.
Oh well,
Owner's favorite player. Terry's been to 3 games this year, and none of them have been at home. That's a lie, but I just
It's a weird road trip for him to go on.
yeah, it's
it's
like a
very suspicious.
Midwestern road trip. It's
I know
like
some people were, I think, rightfully theorizing that maybe he was just going to Utah for the first time, which makes sense. But I don't know. Even if that was the point, he saw some interesting hockey this week.
Well, and I feel like it was right after the owners poll came out and Darlene, like I just feel like a lot has happened in the last few weeks, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Terry was, now traveling with the team basically for a road trip. Like I don't think it's a coincidence at all.
do you really think the owners polls affected him this much? Just
This is,
honest, I'm just asking.
this is the
I'm
guy that
just
got mad at the
curious.
Dwayne rant.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be embarrassed.
Oh yeah,
I
then
mean,
he
he got
goes,
called out by one phone call on WGR, which if you were to go on it today, like the Dwayne rant happens every time.
at this point, yeah.
I don't know, man. Just it's definitely an it raises an eyebrow. You see him sitting up there with Kevin, and
With Kevin, are you sure?
5 feet apart.
I guess it wasn't totally with the it's a funny image, man. It's very funny. The one time they showed him on the broadcast, he's sitting no closer than 50 feet away from Kevin Adams.
Legitimately, they're on two opposite sides of the suite, and there's three people in the suite.
It's just very weird. It's very weird positioning, like going to sit on the farthest sides of the suite.
Well, there's four. There was Matt Ellis was up there. Who else was up there?
Oh yeah, Ellis was
I
there.
think it was Mike Bales.
Mike
think
Bales.
I think it was him.
Uh, so we do think that this has something to do with the athletic poll because I think there's some
I
validity
just
there.
think everything culminating.
Yeah,
I think
a
it's a
few
part of it.
factors.
I don't think it's the only reason.
I mean, he hasn't delivered on any of his promises he's made since he's got here for the past 15 years.
Did you
He
guys
hasn't
see that?
spent.
Did
He
you see
hasn't
that
upgraded the
post?
arena.
Someone posted. They took a picture of Terry's quote that the sole reason of his existence of the Buffalo Sabres is to win the Stanley Cup.
I mean, that's a pretty
It's a
sick,
bar.
like, it's a pretty,
It's a bar.
It is, but it's been what 10,
They gotta
11
we're working,
years.
JP, we're
They just-
working on it,
they
okay?
got-
It's a process.
they gotta scribble out just who said it. Leave the quote by itself.
That actual statue that looked like it was in like somewhere in like the
Well, I
like
think
a
there were
pro
locker
shop area.
Well, I think there were locker room tours this week.
Yeah,
For
I
season
think it
ticket
was
holders.
in the locker room.
What I'm
Yeah.
saying is that it's pretty sick. Like those two huge bronze swords back there. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's pretty sick. It was built back in 2011. This is first
It's
and only.
rusted. They weren't bronze.
That was
They
like his
never-
only. It was his only renovation in like 15 years before
The
this
locker
summer.
rooms.
Before the Jeff Skinner Memorial scoreboard. I don't. I think. I think that the locker rooms were the last thing he updated.
I remember that. That was a decade ago.
There's
at
an old
least.
picture in JP and I's parents' house of the two of us in the tour with like a Tyler Myers jersey behind. It's a cursed image, but I think it was right after they remodeled everything.
They promoted the hell out of that thing when they originally remodeled it. I saw pictures everywhere.
Get-
It was nice.
Get
was
used to
really
it. It's
nice.
the only new shit you're getting in the next decade and a half.
Enjoy that shit because it's the only thing you're getting. No, apparently there's supposed to be other upgrades from what I'm hearing. Per source, I have a friend who does work in the construction field, and I guess there's plans to put some sort of walking bridge from the DL&W metro station into the arena, kind of like how they have one in Harbor Center, kind of like that. But there's supposed to be another walking bridge. I'm not entirely sure. Like I'm having a hard time imagining it too, but that's what I've been told. And I guess there's supposed to be other upgrades too, but obviously that's a long construction process, so you're not going to see that next season, obviously. But
We're just
I'm
gonna.
just
They're
holding
gonna.
out for the seats, man.
They're gonna announce it. They're not gonna do the construction yet. They're gonna let us know it's coming.
This
2
is how
years.
we win. No, but I was at the Bandits game like a couple weeks ago, and I'm sitting up in a suite, and I look across the entire arena, and I just see a chair that's exploded. It's just gone. And I send it to my dad, and he goes, "Damn, that's someone's season ticket, man." I'm like, dude, come on, fix your shit.
So bad.
We
Second
don't
chair.
deserve this, man.
Second chair to explode in the last 12 months.
Probably more.
Hey, I might get a Dominator the next game I go to, my chair might be next. If you hear a big explosion up in section 304, you know what it is. I haven't tried it yet, man. I gotta give it a run. Isn't it like 4 beef patties or something? That's crazy.
All of a sudden, they close down a bathroom. You know why?
Yeah, we have a plumbing issue outside section 304. No one go over there for a while.
Well, I guess will the Dominator return next year? Because if it doesn't, then like time's running out for the
I gotta
Dominator
know.
challenge.
I gotta know.
Dominator challenge, like it's running out.
No, man, that's a trip to the emergency room. Like 3 of those in one night. That can't be legal. Seriously. And 3 tall boys.
That's about
Uh,
$200.
The tall boys
food
are-
and drinks.
I don't
too.
think
Yeah.
the tall boys are included. That might just be you.
yeah.
Well, that's the Dominator challenge. You have
You gotta
to eat
get it
3 of
down
those and
somehow.
3
But
tall
here's the
boys.
question: do you have
3
the
periods.
Dominator first, and do you wash it down with the 3 tall boys, or do you have the 3 tall boys? That way, you're more numb while you're consuming the Dominator.
Man,
Yeah, but then
I
you
don't
got
think there's
3 beers sitting in your stomach, and then
which are
then you're
tall
in-
boys, so it's like a 6
You have to
pack.
consume it all at some point.
then you're inhaling Dominators.
There's no way. There's no good way of going about this. There really isn't.
You just got to test it out. Someone's got to do it.
You're either vomiting or something. I don't know, but if you hear a creak of a seat up in section 304, it's you know where it's coming from. And I'm taking the seat with me, like that kid last year did. You know how like when stadiums close down, like the Browns did like 30 years ago, but it'll happen to the Bills next season. People are just going to start ripping seats out of the stands. I mean, if we want upgrades for that, why don't we just start ripping seats out of KeyBank Center? People took saws in and they just started cutting seats out.
I don't know if that's legal.
You know, it's
maybe
going
when
to
the
happen next year.
stadium's getting destroyed. But...
Terry's going to be like, "Oh, you guys want new seats? I've got about 70,000 that we can use."
They're the bleachers.
Yeah.
Not even the nice seats.
They're like the nosebleeds. You're tuning in for a Sabres broadcast. Half of the seats are bright red.
No, it's just like the Odd, guys. Terry, the seats in the Odd weren't red.
Even those seats had cushions.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny.
Well, they'd be new.
Yeah. No, they would not. No, they would
They'd
not.
be new to KeyBank Center, so they'd be
would
good
be
enough,
new to
right?
KeyBank. I mean, those seats might predate KeyBank Center.
Those seats have gone through a lot more than the ones at KeyBank Center.
Have they?
Do you think those could withhold a Dominator challenge?
They
Maybe some
withhold
reinforced concrete or something.
They withhold a lot of drunk people every single game. They're made for anything.
Yeah, you really don't see a lot of shenanigans at hockey games too often. It's because you don't tailgate for 8 hours before the game. This podcast is off the rails, dude. What are we talking about?
This is what this year's come to, man. Anyways, Terry Pegula in attendance for all three of these road games. Could it mean something? Maybe. It's definitely an interesting time and place. And you don't see it highlighted or talked about very often, so it's definitely peculiar for him to be there, and I don't know, we'll see where it continues. Like we said, he saw some interesting hockey. He saw a all-time bad moment against Utah, a pretty soulless loss against Minnesota, and he saw a win against Winnipeg in a game that the Sabres really did not have any business winning, but they did so anyways.
Good teams find a way. Good teams find a way. Not this good team. They just got lucky, but good teams find a way.
I think the deserve to win-o-meter was at 8%.
It was like 8 or 9.
8% of the simulations the Sabres would have won, so we got one of the 8%. Hockey's an evil sport. Eric
If we play them 10 times, they might win 9, but not tonight.
That was our cup final.
Crest loyalty. All right, on that Winnipeg game, a couple of notes here. First of all, Jacob, how about Jacob Bernard-Docker? First 2 points in a Sabres sweater, both primary assists. The second of which being on a Rasmus Dahlin blast. That was a nice play, picked up the puck, kind of curled back to the slot, and was able to set up Dahlin. That was a nice one. It was nice to see. Good to see Bernard-Docker get involved a little bit. You know, his first game came against Minnesota, but it was 11-7, so you really didn't get to see him on a consistent basis. So to see him in your regular six defenseman unit and get some normal reps in with Owen Power and obviously with Dahlin on that goal, it was nice to see.
It was nice to see, but having a small defenseman running around in the number 24 in the blue and gold gave me some bad flashbacks.
Don't say it.
Don't
say it.
I mean, I immediately thought of Lawrence Pilot and how he was wronged by this organization.
Yeah, here we go with this dude.
They don't even shoot the same way. He didn't even wear 24 the last time he was here.
No, but he did at one point.
Yeah, that was 6 years ago.
This is before he went to Russia.
I don't forget.
I was doing research on that for the Iceberg, and that one was even funnier because I didn't realize that the Sabres were so shocked that he left. Like, they were shocked. They couldn't believe it They had been talking to him. They had been negotiating with him and about an extension. And then suddenly Pilot and his agent went quiet. And
Yeah, this
they didn't think too much of it. And then all of a sudden he signed in Russia and they were like flabbergasted.
yeah, this is your goat, JP. No Crest loyalty, just left, had an
Can you
extension in
blame him?
place.
Can you really blame him?
I mean, yeah, I can. He signed in. We could have used him. Damn it, we could have used him.
They
But
didn't use him when he was on the team.
Jacob Bernard Docker, I think we could safely say we won the trade. I'm not trying to get too ahead of
You don't want to
myself here,
get
but I
too
think
ahead
we
of
were,
yourself, but he's point per game since the
man,
trade happened.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's hard not to say the Sabres won it. I mean, Dylan
I'd
Cousins is
s-
sub point per game. JBD's point per game.
I'd say he's could be the main piece of this trade too.
It's crazy to look back on it now.
Yeah.
Encouraging stuff. Encouraging stuff to see. Hopefully it's a trend that continues and hopefully JBD plays himself into a roster spot for next year and we're not sitting here debating about what to do with the right side of the defense. Another note from this game, Tyson Kozak, awesome moment, scoring in front of friends and family on the power play goal, no less. Got out there
Mhm.
with about 5 seconds left and was able to bury it before time wound down. So cool moment for him and in front of all his friends and family. And how about James Reimer, man?
Man,
What a performance!
he looked like he was back in his prime. Like some of those saves were a little were absurd, but you tend to see that out of a backup goalie every so often, especially when they don't play a lot. But
He played so good.
man, he might get a contract
See, he
again.
played so good. Christian's already penciling him into the lineup over
But
UPL
here's
next
the thing.
season.
He penciled him into the lineup, not behind UPL, not behind Lukanen.
Over UPL.
No, we trade UPL.
He was like, do you think we could do a Levi Reimer duo next year? And I'm like, dude,
And not just like one episode ago, you were like trash on Reimer a little, just saying, oh, yeah, he just hasn't done that much with us.
Goalies are voodoo, man. I just hadn't seen a clean enough look out of him, you know? Like the more and more games Brett Murray gets, the more I like him too.
Don't even joke around with that. You know, Jonah Heaton.
I could see the steam coming out of Jonah's headphones.
I was visibly upset once I saw him on the power play. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. He was scratched last game. Now he's on your second power play
Big
unit.
Mur.
It's like shades of Jack Quinn earlier in the season. He'd be scratched and then he'd be on the power play the
That
next game.
is that is literally Jonah could attest to this. That is literally me in beer league when I go out there for a power play. I go, I'm standing in front of the net and I'm just gonna try and tip shots. And I all four of
so
them move
true.
around and I'm just like in front of the net moving bodies.
it happened in a recent game. He didn't even. I didn't even go up to him to like, it's beer leagues. Like you're gonna play kind of structured on the power play, but like we're going for the face off, and he taps my leg. I was looking at him. He's like, I'm going in front of the net.
And we scored
I'm
twice.
like, okay. I'm like, we did score. So
It worked. Get Big Mur in front of the net.
I was gonna say that's why. I can see why you like him. See
I
yourself in
think
him.
genuinely, they see how bad their power play is, and then set the effort saying, "Oh yeah, he's pretty good on the power play in front of the net on the Amerks. So let's bring him up to try and fix it." That's genuinely what I think is happening.
They're just running out of guys, man. They just have I've said it so many times. They just have a lack of high-end talent. They're just running out of ideas. Like, oh, we could call this guy up. We could use this guy. We could do this, this, and this. It's like it's not going to change unless you get like a Mitch Marner, perhaps,
Stop it. Stop doing that.
and Elias Pettersson.
All right, now I'm in.
perhaps. You son of a bitch, I'm in.
Yeah. How about another trade that the Sabres likely won? Ryan McLeod, man, 4
Mhm.
points, career high, 4 points against the Winnipeg Jets, 3 assists, and an empty netter to seal it.
An empty netter was like a 200-footer.
He's the perfect hockey player, man. He is the ideal, perfect hockey player.
You see that guy on Twitter who made the Forsberg Erat
Yep.
comparison? He's still
He's still
defending his
defending it.
position.
He's still, dude, just take the L or just
He's
say
like,
like,
talk to me
yeah,
in 3 years,
yeah. I was
buddy.
gonna
Like,
say like
what?
if you just said that, like, okay, but stop trying to justify it. Ryan McLeod has as many points in the NHL as Savoy does in the AHL this season.
Like, it'll never be as bad as that trade. Even if
No, it'll never
it's
be as
Matt,
bad as
even
that.
if Matt Savoy becomes like a daily NHL player, like it'll never be that bad of a trade. It'll never get to that point.
It was a ridiculous comparison. McLeod was a 24-year-old center when the Sabres acquired him last year.
He's even playing on the power play now too.
I think that's your third line next year. You add one guy to the forward group, you could brush your hands, just be like, okay, let's focus on the defense because that needs a lot of work.
How many games do you think Martin Erat played in Washington?
55.
72.
You're both sort of close. 62. Do you want to know how many
Mm,
points he had in 62 career games as a Capital?
15.
31.
27. 2 goals his entire Capitals career. 25 assists.
Jesus.
Ryan McLeod beat that by like mid-January. I couldn't even imagine trying to keep your stance on this the same.
Some people, man, some people they don't want to admit when they're wrong.
He's just been so goddamn good, and contract talks are gonna be interesting because, I mean, at this point, he's he's your go-to penalty killer. Now he's getting time on the power play. Yes, he's ideally your third or fourth line center, but good God, man, he was your first line center against Minnesota the other day. And take that into account, he's probably what, top 3, 4, 5 in terms of points on the team. How much can he command in contract talks?
I'd say if he has a really good agent, you could probably get up to like 6.5 million, 6.75. I'd say the sweet spot somewhere lies in like 5 to 5.5 for like 5 years. But some of these players have good agents, they have good teams, and he could make a strong case for himself
I was gonna
to
say
get Dylan Cousins
he
money.
has all the leverage in the world, really.
Hmm. Easily.
I think 5x5 is like the magic number everybody's been discussing, but makes you think this guy's going to hit 50 points most likely in his first season on the team, and most of which, basically all, are 5-on-5 points, and any that aren't are on the penalty kill. So,
Are we in a career year though?
what's that?
Are we in a career year though?
For,
Is this
for
a is this a
Oh, you
well,
think like is this as good as it gets?
is this a 2022-2023 Sabres player season?
Probably, just because ideally, like, if you improve the team, he's going to be lower in the lineup. He's not going to be your first line center some nights.
Improve?
So probably
What's that word?
ideally, I think you would want. I mean, of course, ideally, you would not want him as your first or second line center. So yeah, I think a dip in production would come, but I don't know, like this, like the player you see now is like consistent 35, 45 point player. Is that totally out of the question? I
No,
don't
I
think
wouldn't say
so.
so.
I mean, obviously the shooting percentage has taken a bump
Hmm.
compared to last year, so probably ends up scoring less goals next year. I mean, what doesn't he have like 19 goals right now? 17 goals. I mean, shit, he might score 20 goals this year, which is something I don't think anybody would have ever predicted. I mean, his career high was 12 to this point, and I mean, here's his shooting percentages by year. In 10 games, his first year with Edmonton, didn't score any goals, so 0%. 11%, 14%, 11% last year, 22% this year.
Benefits from Lindy Ruff's system.
Chances are he's not a 20% shooter. So, oh, you dip that back I think 14 to 15 is attainable. So
He brings good energy too. He brings a good vibe to the team.
yeah, and it's okay to. It's not crazy to recognize that he's become a better player, that he's developed more, and become more dynamic. So I don't think he's going to regress to like the mid 20s to 30-point player he was in Edmonton. I think upper 30s into the 40s isn't totally out of the question moving forward. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that negotiation goes. Hopefully, it's straightforward. I mean, it's probably priority number one on your in-house roster, probably more than JJ Paterka. I
Yes.
feel. Is it crazy
Yeah.
to say that Ryan McLeod is more
No,
important to your team?
no.
I don't think so.
It's not to say he's a better player.
Well, he brings a stable two-way center
Yeah,
presence to
he's a
your
better
lineup.
two-way player.
I'm not saying he's. I don't think anybody would admit he's the better player, but I think more important to like the core identity of your team and what you want to build.
Yeah,
I feel
100%.
like it's a higher priority.
And I feel like there's more question marks with Paterka, considering his defensive play isn't that good. He's, for the most part, not that good on the power play. Um, just McLeod's more well-rounded player.
Speaking of next year, we did get a bit of interesting news. Small news, very minute, but interesting when you really dissect it and try to guess what it means for next year. Jacob Bryson will be back with the Sabres next year. He signed a 1-year, $900K extension prior to, what was it, Friday? I think it was. Interesting timing for
Why'd you say that?
well, for one, there's a few points to be made here. For one, is he having the season that warrants a contract extension? Overall,
Probably not.
even just overall.
Probably not. No.
Okay, does it warrant a contract extension in March? Why sign a guy so early that is never higher than your third pair? It's like, are you worried about losing him? Are you worried about? You can't be worried about filling that spot because you look at the left-handed defenseman you have in your organization now. Even if you tossed Bowen Byram to the side, Matthias Samuelson's still here as of now, and then your AHL team, Ryan Johnson still kicking, and oh, by the way, you just acquired an RFA, a player you have control with, and Eric Brandstrom, who's lighting up the AHL, he just should not be on that team. B, like, chances are he's going to be on the roster next year.
Is Brandstrom a left-handed defenseman?
He's a left-handed defenseman,
Oh, son of a
Small
bitch.
left-handed defenseman.
and he's a better player than Jacob Bryson at the NHL level, at least offensively. I mean, don't get me wrong. I actually have nothing against Jacob Bryson, and I have nothing against bringing him back next year. Honestly, he's the perfect seventh defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively responsible. He's a phenomenal skater, and he's built for certain matchups against teams like your Carolina Hurricanes, your even Florida Panthers, like your heavy forechecking games where you need your defenseman to be able to break the puck out effectively. He's great for that. He's fantastic, and he can play up in the lineup in super small samples. But making that signing in mid-March, when you already have like a left-handed defenseman surplus, and he was great for them last year, but this year he's just kind of been meh. It's really weird, man. It's weird.
Do you think this is a little bit of a foreshadowing to what happens with Bowen Byram in the offseason? Do you think they intend on moving him so they kind of were just like, we might as well bring Bryson back for depth in case,
If those two decisions are related, that's a problem.
I think AJP's right, but I do think the Byram stuff is interesting because, I mean, now he's really spent like a good chunk away from Rasmus Dahlin on the third pair, actually mostly with Jacob Bryson. And he, really hasn't been producing. So I wonder if this has kind of soured them on Byram a little bit because it's kind of confirmed what we know. It's he's
Hmm.
got to play with Rasmus Dahlin to be effective.
Well, I'm not saying like JP with those trades, with those decisions being related. I'm saying they had a decision made already, saying like we want to move Byram. We probably want to get stronger on our right side of our defense. We want to try and upgrade somewhere else in the lineup. We know we want to do this, and we intend on doing this. So it's almost like might as well get ahead of the game a little bit here. It's 900K. It doesn't break the bank at all. Thank God. We know Terry is strapped for cash right now. And it, like Jonah said, he's like the perfect seventh defenseman for depth. It's, wouldn't you say like that kind of correlates a little bit?
I guess so. I guess we know why Terry was on the trip now. Sign an extension.
I'm gonna put pen to paper. Get Jacob Bryson in here right now. He's just like is the meme where the guy's just pointing at himself. He's like, what?
I don't, I I just why? Like I just don't understand. Like we have enough depth defensemen in our organization that I just don't see the point in bringing back someone who's been here for so long. Like just change it up a little. I really don't get the signing at all. Like you have Brandstrom, you have JBD, you have Zachary Metza, who's your top point producer down in the AHL for defensemen. You even Cal Clague's down there. Like I don't get it. You can find another depth defenseman somewhere. I mean, I guess
How
it is
about
cheap,
how about top
900K.
how about top five in the AHL plus minus? Nikita Novikov.
I was I was thinking him too.
Is he
I
also a
don't
left-handed
He's
defenseman?
also left-handed.
God
yeah.
damn it.
Metz is a right-handed defenseman though.
Why did they do this? Why did they do this in March?
Yeah, I don't understand it at all. Like I don't know why you lock in Bryson to be your defenseman next year. Like, whoa, I don't get it. Have one of your AHL defenseman or JBD or someone have them compete for the spot instead. Like this spot's like already kind of locked up now. I don't get it. We want change on this team, yet we're bringing back depth players. Like change it up a little, change
That's
up the culture. I don't get it.
and that's the key to this whole thing. With Jacob Bryson locked up, of the 23 players currently on the Sabres roster, or at least whether they're on the roster or on IR, all players except one is under some sort of team control next year, whether that's they have a contract or they're an RFA. Every player except James Reimer is owned by the team next year. Yeah, you got your RFAs, you got your JJ Peterka, you got your Jack Quinn, your Devin Levi, etc., etc. But everybody could be here next year if the team wished them to be. And I just think it's so telling that they got a Jacob Bryson extension done on March 21st in order to, I don't know, solidify the word, like they're solidifying their lineup for next year. God, man, it's infuriating to think about that. Like, okay, you're building a culture, right? You re-signed Greenway, you re-signed Zucker, traded Cousins. Like, okay, you're trying to build something here, but like I said, no ill will towards Jacob Bryson, but even then, like, talk about a guy who's been here. He's been here for half a decade now. Drafted, I think, what, in 2018?
18, 19, somewhere
I was
around
gonna say
there.
20. He was a Botterill guy. Made
Yeah.
his debut in 2021. 5 years now, and you have more than enough pieces that can supplement what he does if he were to leave. Not perfectly, like I said, Jacob Bryson is still a very useful player, but man, it's just it's the foreshadowing that it puts onto this summer. It's so worrying, man.
You guys are also forgetting about the best name in hockey, Jack Rathbone, also a left-handed defenseman down in the Sabres organization.
And just the signing of a seventh defenseman shouldn't piss me off so much, but it really does. Like even right when they signed, like you two were in the group chat, like, okay, like this is fine. Like we like Bryson. I'm like, why? Like, there's just no point in doing this. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. It really doesn't. At least Komarov shoots right-handed. You can bring him up.
You know who it does? It probably does say a lot about. Probably does say a lot about Ryan Johnson.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
cooked.
What they
It's
think
over
of
for
him.
him.
he's falling off.
Yeah, he's done. He's
Which
done.
is funny because he's like the closest thing to Jacob Bryson. Like Brandstrom skews offensively. Novikov, you don't really know what you're going to get. You're definitely not getting a fantastic skater like Bryson. So it's just, it's weird. I don't know, man. Just, it worries you so much. Like you're already, like it's March 24th today, and you're already like, oh, like this offseason might be cooked already. Like they're just planning to run it back. It's insanity.
It is the definition of insanity. The silence. The silence.
The silence is loud. What do we do to deserve this, dude? This really is like the most soulless hockey I think I've watched maybe since the COVID season.
Probably, yeah.
Like even last year they had you intrigued in late March. It was they were still alive.
They're
They
still
still
alive right now.
they still they are still alive. That elimination day is coming.
When is it? It's
Can't
got to
be.
be in the next few days.
It can't be. What they have 13 games left. I'm sure maybe when we hit like the 10 game mark. Big playoff implication matchup tomorrow.
This could be our first step in a
Four.
run to a wild card spot.
4 point game. We got to take them out.
We do got to take him out. We do.
The discourse on Twitter with the Sens fans has been just absolutely so cringe. It's been so cringe to watch. It's just been you're in a playoff spot for the first time in 7 years, or you're about to make the playoffs for the first time in 7 years, and now all of a sudden you're talking down to Sabres fans. Like, bro, you're literally us. Just you've made the playoffs once. You had the same shitty owner. You're the Canadian version of this team.
Well, it's just funny to me because they're having a great season, but you've finished behind the Sabres the past 3 years. Three.
Right.
1, 2, 3.
You said at the beginning of the season the Red Wings had their chance, the Sabres had their chance, and this year was going to be the Ottawa Senators' chance.
I did kind of call it.
And hey, they've made the most of their opportunity.
They just didn't have to deal with the Bruins and the Rangers and like we did the past few seasons and even Detroit last year. So it's fortunate. It's fortunate timing. This is it. Like this is when you wanted the Sabres to rise up because the Bruins are absolutely cooked. Like
They got no one.
What a disaster of a locker room scuffle last night where like it seems like Jeremy Swayman might be some sort of, I don't want to call him a cancer, but has some sort of antics that the team isn't a fan of. And I mean, you look at the Rangers, like the Rangers are in this race, but they just beat the Canucks in a game where they had 12 shots. It's like 3 shots through 2 periods. Like they're cooked. I mean, geez, look at what happened to Carolina this year. Like they parlayed themselves from Natchez and Rantanen to Logan Stankoven and late first round picks.
And Taylor Hall.
Hey, Taylor Hall had a hat trick last night. Don't
Hey, there you go. See their new
We should go get that guy.
Their new jersey combination, or not jersey combination. They got black helmets now with white
So
jerseys.
ass.
Awful.
It's so
It's
ass,
Pretty
dude.
ugly.
I've never seen any high school, college, football, hockey, whatever. I've never seen a team not look good in the red and black until I saw the Carolina Hurricanes. And their jersey sucks too. Like the Canes on the front, like, bro, you want to be a little more creative next time?
everything they do sucks.
It
It's
really
terrible.
does.
Awful franchise. They're the worst.
Except they have a good on ice product.
13 games left.
We're getting there.
We are getting there.
We are getting there. I told you, man, the 17th and 18th hole are coming up. They're gonna get hot at the end of the year. They're gonna win like
I don't know. I'm
5
waiting
to
for the hot
7.
streak. every so often we have an episode like, here comes the strong finish, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It was they tried to convince us that like a culture change was coming after 2 good games of fighting, but pretty. I mean, I know they went 2-2 on the road trip, but it wasn't the most entertaining hockey.
It never is.
I don't know how mad can you get? They're basically missing a second line.
Yeah.
Currently, I'm looking at all the standings right now. And Vancouver Canucks are 5 points of wild card spot. They're kind of falling out of it.
Crashing.
I think it's the Blues spot to lose. Yeah,
Well, after that head-to-head matchup, it's
yeah,
kind of what it turned into.
pretty much. Not to mention Pedersen and Hoglander. They're hurt right now.
Oh, he's hurt?
Yeah.
What is it? Upper body?
I don't even know. I didn't even look. I think the dream's dead. I'm not even trying to get myself up for it. He's been playing well, and I don't know.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
What about to miss the playoffs though?
I don't know, man. That
Not to
franchise-
not to not to double back to Swayman, but his last 4 games, he's 0-4-0. He's got a .815 save percentage and a 6 goals against average. He's got 88 saves on 108 shots and 20 goals against. No other starting goalie in the league has worse stats over the same stretch. And how much money did he command in the offseason?
8.5, baby.
Ooh.
Man.
They're going to turn on him. The Bruins fans, they can't go 1 season. They can't go 1 season without having a down season without making someone out to be a scapegoat immediately.
As a fan of a Boston sports team, I know the fan base pretty well. Yeah, they like to make enemies.
Immediately. No, I don't know, man. They deserve it.
The collapse has definitely been glorious.
Smoking that Bruins pack.
All right. I think we're starting to ramble on here.
Just a little bit.
I got one thing.
Everyone keeps
If you're-
interrupting
if you're-
Jonah.
If you're ready to, if you're about to wrap it up, I'll bring up one thing. How
Floor is
about
yours.
Noah? How about Noah Ostlund down with the Amerks right now? He is cooking. Hat trick the other night. Then he scored, I think, last night. He's got the most points as a rookie on that team now, and he's played like 15 less games than Hellenius and Wahlberg. So he's cooking.
I believe in his last 24 games, he has 25 points.
Hold on.
Give that kid steroids, please. Juice him up. Juice him up.
Before we go, JP was talking about before the episode started. He had a little bit of an idea of how his off season would go. I'm
No.
curious. I want to hear it. I
Season's-
want to hear it.
This
Oh, God.
podcast has gone on long enough.
You-
Tonight. I'll
give
save
me
it for another one.
Give me the
Oh,
Cliff Notes
what? You're
version.
gonna make us wait for a mock off season?
Give me
I
the
am,
Cliff Notes
yes.
version. Give me something. Come on.
I'll just say it's the Eminem off season.
Okay.
Stay tuned till next one.
Eminem off season.
Eminem off season.
Eminem
Okay.
off season.
I already know what he's talking about.
I don't even
but
get that reference. Oh, actually, I do.
Yeah. Fair
It's not
enough.
It's not gonna happen.
Eminem off season.
I told JP it's like when
It's
remember
not
that one.
happening.
Do you remember that one off season when like Knicks fans thought they were gonna get KD, Kyrie, and Zion?
And they went to the Nets.
2 of them went to the Nets. The other one was drafted by
New
New
Orleans.
Orleans.
New
Yeah.
Orleans. I'm just saying, we're due. We're due. We don't even gotta win the lottery. We just gotta get second. Like we're due. Right, we're a dying franchise right now. Throw us a bone. You want to get some fan interest back? Give us a second pick. Give us a guy who's a stud. And there we go.
I thought you were talking about the other M. And I was just about to be like, we just spent 20 minutes talking about Jacob Bryson re-signing for league minimum.
Oh no, he's the other one. He's the other one. Once we get more into the off season, it is interesting though, because if you re-sign all these players, you really don't have room for old Mitchie Marner.
Don't speak it into existence.
Just saying.
That's
I'll just say
that's what Terry Pegula is doing right now. He's on Puckpedia. He's crunching the
yeah,
numbers.
while I did my mock offseason, I was like, okay, it's a little harder than to sign him than I thought. Like next year we have 23 million projected 23 million. The year after that we have like 45 million projected. But it's not as
Not enough.
easy as we may be portraying it.
It's not enough space. It's never enough.
Therefore, we shouldn't chase it. It's too hard. We shouldn't chase after it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying moves got to be made.
All right, folks. Sabres and Senators in action tomorrow night. Definitely should be hopefully a fun game. I don't know. You watch Cousins 2 goals in his return, 19% expected goal share. It's good. I got the script early. That's what's gonna happen.
Nah, he's gonna be a ghost on.
We're
the
gonna
predicament.
we're gonna have an analytical win, even though he scored 2 goals.
Rosie. I was gonna say
it's a legacy night for Rosie.
Yeah. Rosie he's getting his posts ready, his charts ready.
He's getting warmed up. He's getting his Twitter fingers warmed up.
God, I hope it's a fun night for him.
Sabres should acquire Garnet Hathaway just to complete the cycle.
Oh, jeez.
All right, folks. As I said, Sabres Senators tomorrow. Sabres Penguins on Thursday. Sabres Flyers on Saturday, and then Sabres Capitals on Sunday. So we'll speak to you sometime in between, or maybe after the Capitals game next Sunday. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We never have a schedule.
We don't. Had one at first, but
It went out the window quick.
not anymore. We'll regroup during the summer. All right, we'll talk to you guys sometime next time. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you can follow us at the Sabre Report. Also on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Sabre Report. If you listen to this on YouTube, thank you very much for listening. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you want updates for the pod, you can follow us at Sabre Report Pod. Go give our friends over at the Buffalo Sports Talk podcast a listen, breaking down all the Bills' off-season moves and anything connected to the NFL. They do great stuff over there, so be sure to give them a listen. But other than that, we'll see you guys next time. Take care. And as always, go Sabres.
Go Sabres.
Go Sabres.